Hey Switch fans, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're looking at the top 25 perfect games you need to play on your Nintendo Switch in 2025. These games all score a perfect 10 out of 10 in my book. Let's jump right in with our countdown. Dusk brings old school first-person shooting back with a scary twist. You play as a treasure hunter who wakes up hanging on a meat hook in a creepy farm run by crazy people. The game feels like the shooters from the 90s with super fast movement where you can run, jump, and flip through the air while shooting bad guys with cool weapons like double shotguns and a magical crossbow. Instead of fancy graphics, Dusk uses a simple blocky style that looks like games from the past but runs super smooth on Switch. What makes Dusk special is how it mixes shooting with scary parts. You'll be fighting cultists, possessed farmers, and weird monsters as you try to figure out what's happening in this cursed place. The levels are really well designed with lots of secrets to find, and the game keeps throwing new ideas at you to keep things exciting all the way to the end. Bayonetta 3 is an action game where you play as a super stylish witch who fights angels and demons with guns on her shoes and magic hair that turns into monsters. In this game, Bayonetta teams up with other versions of herself from different worlds to stop a new bad guy who's destroying universes. The fighting is fast and crazy. You press buttons to do cool combos, dodge attacks at the last second to slow down time, called Witch Time. And now you can summon giant demons to fight alongside you. The new demon summon system changes how you play because when you call a demon, you can't use your normal attacks, so you need to figure out the best time to use them. The game also lets you play as a new character named Viola, who uses a sword and has different powers. Bayonetta 3 is non-stop action with big, over-the-top boss fights and levels that keep throwing new ideas at you. One minute you're fighting on a moving train, the next you're controlling a giant monster in a city. Pikmin 4 is a cute strategy game where you crash land on a planet and use tiny colorful plant creatures called Pikmin to help you explore and solve problems. In this new game, you're part of a rescue team looking for castaways, and you get help from a space dog named Ochi who can carry Pikmin and help you cross water. There are different types of Pikmin with special abilities. Red ones don't burn in fire, blue ones can swim, yellow ones can dig up electricity, and new ice Pikmin can freeze enemies in water. The game works by having you throw Pikmin at obstacles, enemies, and treasures. Then they work together to carry things back to your ship. What makes Pikmin 4 special is how it balances being easy to play with having lots to think about. You need to use the right Pikmin for each job and make sure they don't get eaten by the weird animals on the planet. Chained Echoes is a role-playing game that feels like the best games from the 90s, but with modern improvements that fix all the annoying parts. The story happens in a world with both magic and machines, where 3 countries have been at war for years. You control a group of unlikely heroes who get caught up in a bigger plot involving ancient weapons and mysterious powers. What makes this game special is its battle system. It uses an overdrive gauge that you need to keep balanced for the best attacks. Push too far and you overheat, making your team weak. The game also has no random battles or grinding. Enemies appear on the map, and the game keeps you at the right level without making you fight extra battles. Your characters can use special skills on a grid, and later, you even get to pilot giant robots called Sky Armors. The pixel art looks beautiful with detailed characters and colorful environments, and the music is amazing too. Hades is an action game where you play as Zagreus, the son of the god of the underworld, who's trying to escape from hell to find his mother. Every time you die, you return to your father's house and then try again, but the layout of the underworld changes each time. The gameplay is fast and smooth. You attack with weapons, dash to avoid getting hit, and use special god powers called boons that change how your attacks work. What makes Hades special is how death is part of the story. Every time you die and return home, you can talk to the characters who live there and learn more about them, maybe give them gifts to build friendships, and unlock new weapons or upgrades for your next escape attempt. There are 6 different weapons that all feel completely different, and when you combine them with boons from gods like Zeus, lightning, Poseidon, water, or Aphrodite, charm, you get thousands of possible builds. Dead Cells is an action game where you play as the Prisoner, a blob of cells that takes over a headless body to escape a dangerous, ever-changing island. Each time you die, you start over from the beginning, but you keep some upgrades and unlocks for future runs. The gameplay is super tight and responsive. You run, jump, roll, and fight with a huge variety of weapons and tools like swords, bows, whips, traps, and magic spells. What makes Dead Cells special is how smooth the combat feels and how many different ways you can play. You find new weapons during each run and build your character differently each time. Maybe focus on setting enemies on fire, or freezing them, or making them bleed, or just doing massive damage with critical hits. The island changes layout every time you play, but you'll unlock permanent abilities like a vine that lets you climb walls, or a ground pound that breaks through floors, opening up new paths. Unicorn Overlord is a strategy role-playing game where you play as Alain, the rightful heir to the throne who must build a liberation army to take back 5 kingdoms from the evil Zenoiran Empire. What makes this game different from other strategy games is how it handles combat. You set up teams of up to 5 units, position them on a big map, and when they meet enemies, the battle plays out automatically based on your formation and the skills you've chosen. Each character belongs to a class like Knight, Mage, or Archer, and they have special skills that work together. For example, Knights can protect weaker units, while Archers attack from the back row. Outside of battles, you move around a huge world map, liberating towns, recruiting new allies, over 60 characters, and managing your army. The game has a beautiful art style with detailed character portraits and flashy battle animations.
Brace yourself!
Does this suit you?
Witness the royal blade!
Hollow Knight is an adventure game where you play as a small bug knight exploring the ruins of Hallownest, an ancient bug kingdom that fell to a mysterious infection. The game doesn't tell you exactly where to go. You have to explore the huge underground world on your own, finding new areas, abilities, and pieces of the story as you go. The gameplay feels amazing. Your knight can jump, slash with a nail, sword, and use soul energy gained from hitting enemies to heal or cast spells. As you explore, you'll find new abilities like a dash, wall jump, and double jump that let you reach new areas. What makes Hollow Knight special is its beautiful hand-drawn art style with moody backgrounds and cute but creepy bug characters, plus the amazing music that changes for each area. The game is challenging, bosses can be tough, and if you die, you leave behind a shade that you need to defeat to get your money back. A short hike invites you to take a break from the noise and climb toward peace. Literally, you play as Claire, a bird searching for cell phone reception at the top of Hawk Peak, but the true joy lies in the journey. With an open world full of charm and freedom, you're encouraged to explore at your own pace, gliding through the air, scaling cliffs, fishing in quiet ponds, and chatting with quirky animal friends. Golden feathers scattered across the park enhance your climbing and gliding, gradually unlocking more of the landscape to roam. The visuals are adorably lo-fi and pixelated, creating a nostalgic vibe, while the dynamic soundtrack gently shifts with your movement and surroundings. Every nook of the park feels alive and rewarding, whether you're racing a turtle or skipping rocks. It's a cozy, heartfelt adventure that doesn't rush you. Instead, it gently reminds you to enjoy the view and breathe in the mountain air. Sentinels. Aegis Rim is one of the most unique games on Switch, mixing visual novel storytelling with real-time strategy battles. The game follows 13 high school students across different time periods, 1945 to 2105, who pilot giant robots called Sentinels to fight against kaiju, giant monsters that are destroying the world. The story is told in a non-linear way where you jump between different characters and time periods, slowly piecing together a complex mystery involving time travel, androids, and alien invasions. What makes this game special is how it handles its complicated story. Instead of getting confused, you feel like a detective solving a puzzle as each character's story connects to others in surprising ways. The gameplay has two main parts: adventure sections where you explore, talk to people, and make choices that affect the story, and battle sections where you control your sentinels in top-down combat against waves of kaiju using different weapons and strategies.
Give it up. There's nowhere to run. Hijiyama. So
Monster Hunter Rise lets you hunt giant monsters in beautiful Japanese-inspired lands while having a cute cat and dog partner help you out. You choose from 14 different weapon types, from simple swords to complicated transforming weapons like the Charge Blade, and each one feels like its own unique game. What makes Rise special is the new wire bug system that lets you zip through the air, run up walls, and do powerful special moves. The game focuses on hunting monsters in big open areas, using their parts to craft better weapons and armor, then taking on even bigger monsters. There's no traditional story mode. Instead, you do quests from the village to unlock harder hunts. You can play the whole game alone or team up with friends online to take down monsters together. The game runs great on Switch in both handheld and TV mode, and with the Sunbreak expansion, there's hundreds of hours of content. Dragon Quest XI-S is a classic Japanese role-playing game that feels both old school and modern at the same time. You play as the Luminary, a hero chosen by destiny to save the world from a great evil. The turn-based battle system is easy to understand. You pick attacks, magic, or special abilities from menus, but gets more interesting with the addition of the PEP system where characters get powered up after taking or dealing damage. What makes this game special is its charm. The colorful world is full of unique towns to visit. The characters in your party all have their own stories and personalities, and there are tons of silly monsters designed by Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama. The game lets you play in modern 3D graphics, or switch to a classic 2D mode that looks like older Dragon Quest games. The S version on Switch adds new story content, a fully orchestrated soundtrack, and quality of life improvements. Celeste is a challenging platformer game about a girl named Madeline climbing a mysterious mountain while dealing with her inner struggles with anxiety and depression. The controls are super simple. You can jump, dash in the air once until you touch the ground again, and climb walls for a limited time. But the game does amazing things with these basic moves. Each level introduces new mechanics like moving platforms, feathers that let you fly, blocks that disappear when you dash through them, and wind that pushes you around. What makes Celeste special is how it balances being really challenging with never feeling unfair. Checkpoints are generous. You restart instantly when you die, and the game has an assist mode that lets you customize difficulty if you're stuck. The pixel art style is beautiful with detailed animations and backgrounds, and the synth music by Lena Raine perfectly matches the emotions of each area. Super Mario Bros. Wonder brings the classic 2D Mario gameplay back with a magical twist that makes every level surprising and new. The game takes place in the Flower Kingdom, where wonder flowers create crazy effects when you touch them. The whole level might suddenly transform. Mario might turn into a Goomba or balloon. Pipes could grow legs and walk around, or you might find yourself swimming through the sky. The core gameplay is still running and jumping like classic Mario, but with new power-ups like the elephant form that lets you use your trunk to break blocks, spray water, and grab things. What makes Wonder special is how it constantly surprises you. No two levels use the Wonder Flower the same way, so you never know what's coming next. The game also adds a badge system where you can equip one special ability at a time, like being able to wall jump or hover after jumps. Metroid Dread is an action-adventure game where you play as the bounty hunter Samus Aran, exploring a mysterious alien planet. The gameplay is all about finding new abilities that let you reach areas you couldn't access before, like the Morph Ball that lets you roll through small spaces, missiles that blow up special doors, and a speed booster for smashing through walls. What makes Dread special is how it adds a new layer of tension with the EMMI robots, nearly indestructible machines that hunt you in certain areas, forcing you to hide, run, or counter them with split-second timing. The game has a perfect mix of exploration, combat, and light puzzle solving as you gradually uncover the map. The controls feel amazing. Samus can slide under obstacles, grab onto ledges, aim in any direction, and counterattack enemies with a satisfying flash. The story follows Samus investigating a signal on planet ZDR, but quickly turns into a fight for survival as she loses her abilities and must work her way back to full power. Persona 5 Royal is a Japanese role-playing game where you play as a high school student who discovers the ability to enter people's hearts and change them for the better. During the day, you live a normal student life, going to class, hanging out with friends, working part-time jobs, and building skills like knowledge and charm. At night, you and your friends become the Phantom Thieves, entering the metaverse to explore palaces, physical representations of people's distorted desires, and fighting shadow monsters using your personas, powerful beings that represent your inner self. What makes this game special is how these two gameplay parts connect. Relationships you build in the real world make your personas stronger in battle. The turn-based combat system is flashy and strategic. You try to hit enemy weaknesses to knock them down and get extra turns.
It's been a while since we last, but this time
We're rolling deep into your
Persona!
arms.
Go down!
Fire Emblem: Three Houses is a strategy role-playing game where you play as a professor at a military academy choosing to lead one of 3 houses of students: the noble Blue Lions, the commoner-friendly Golden Deer, or the ambitious Black Eagles. The gameplay is split between 2 parts. During the week, you teach your students to improve their skills, build relationships, and explore the monastery. On mission days, you lead them in tactical turn-based battles on grid-based maps. What makes this game special is how your choices matter. The house you pick completely changes the story, and the skills you teach students determine what classes they can become, like Knight, Mage, or Archer. The battle system is deep but easy to understand. Units take turns moving and attacking, with different weapons and magic having various strengths and weaknesses. Pokemon Legends: Arceus completely changes how Pokemon games work by taking you back in time to the Hisui region before it was called Sinnoh, when people were still afraid of Pokemon. Instead of the usual Pokemon formula, this game lets you freely explore large open areas filled with Pokemon that you can see walking around. You can catch them without battling by sneaking up and throwing Pokeballs, or engage in battles with a new turn-based system where faster Pokemon or moves might let you attack multiple times in a row. What makes this game special is how it makes you feel like a real explorer. You complete the region's first Pokédex by not just catching Pokémon, but observing their behaviors, like seeing them use certain moves or catching them at night. The game focuses on the story of how humans and Pokémon learn to live together, with your character being from the modern day but transported back in time. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a massive role-playing game set in a world where two nations, Keves and Agnes, are locked in an endless war where soldiers only live for 10 years before their life force returns to their leaders. You play as Noah and Mio, soldiers from opposing sides who, along with their friends, discover they can combine their powers through Ouroboros forms. The battle system happens in real time, where characters automatically attack while you control their special moves, positioning, and when to transform into powerful Ouroboros forms. What makes this game special is its incredible world. Enormous open areas with breathtaking views, strange creatures, and secrets to discover everywhere. The class system lets any character learn jobs from others, allowing tons of customization as you build your perfect team. The story deals with heavy themes like the purpose of life, what makes it worth living, and finding hope in a world designed to make you suffer.
With you around, Senna.
I'm the girl with the gall.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land brings the pink puffball into a full 3D adventure for the first time. Set in a mysterious world with abandoned buildings and structures from a past civilization, the gameplay is classic Kirby. You inhale enemies to copy their abilities like fire, ice, sword, and hammer, but now in 3D spaces where you can move in all directions. What makes this game special is the new Mouthful mode, where Kirby stretches his body around real-world objects. He can become a car to drive fast, a vending machine to shoot cans, or even wrap around a pipe to spray water. The game has a perfect difficulty balance, with main levels being accessible to everyone, while optional challenges and post-game content provide a real test for experienced players. Each copy ability can be upgraded multiple times at Waddle Dee Town, which grows as you rescue more Waddle Dees from levels. The game also has a fun co-op mode where a second player can join as Bandana Waddle Dee. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the biggest fighting game ever made, bringing together over 80 characters from Nintendo games and other famous series like Sonic, Mega Man, and Final Fantasy. The game is easy to pick up. You just need to hit your opponents to increase their damage percentage, then knock them off the stage. What makes Smash special is how different it is from other fighting games. Instead of memorizing complicated button combinations, you use the same controls for every character, but they all have unique moves and playstyles. You can play with up to 8 players at once on over 100 stages, with thousands of different items, assist trophies, and Pokemon that can appear during matches. The game has tons of different modes: a story adventure called World of Light, classic arcade routes, tournaments, and online battles against players worldwide. Even in 2025, the Smash community is still huge, with tournaments happening all the time. Mario Kart 8. Deluxe is the biggest and best Mario Kart game ever, with 48 tracks and 42 characters from across the Nintendo universe. The racing is easy to learn but hard to master. You drive around colorful tracks while collecting items from boxes to help yourself or mess up other racers. What makes this game special is the anti-gravity feature that lets you drive on walls and ceilings, completely changing how tracks can be designed. The game has a perfect balance of skill and luck. Good driving will usually win, but a well-timed item can still turn the race around. You can play with up to 4 players on one Switch, or 8 players with multiple systems, or race against people online from around the world. The game includes a battle mode with arena courses where you pop balloons, collect coins, or play Bob-omb Tag. With the Booster Course Pass DLC adding 48 more tracks from older Mario Kart games, there's now a massive 96 tracks to race on. Super Mario Odyssey is a 3D adventure where Mario teams up with a living hat named Cappy to save Princess Peach from marrying Bowser. What makes this game special is the capture ability. By throwing Cappy at enemies and objects, Mario can take control of them and use their powers. You can become a T-Rex to smash through rocks, a frog to jump super high, a tank to shoot targets, or even a zipper to open new paths. The game is divided into kingdoms that work like big playgrounds filled with secrets. Each one has a main path to follow, but also dozens of hidden power moons to collect. There are 999 total in the game. The controls feel amazing with lots of different jumps and moves that let expert players pull off incredible tricks. Even after you beat the game by stopping the wedding, there's a huge amount of post-game content including harder challenges and new kingdoms to explore. Metroid Prime Remastered brings one of the greatest games ever made to Switch with completely updated graphics and modern controls. You play as the bounty hunter Samus Aran exploring the planet Talon 4, which has been corrupted by a substance called Phazon after a meteor crash. The game brilliantly combines first-person shooting with exploration and puzzle solving. You'll shoot enemies with different beam weapons, scan objects to learn about the world, and find upgrades that let you reach new areas. What makes Prime special is how it creates a sense of being alone on an alien planet. You're not just running and gunning, but carefully exploring beautiful environments like ancient ruins, fiery caverns, and icy wastes. The game doesn't directly tell you the story. Instead, you piece it together by scanning objects and environments to learn about the Chozo civilization that once lived there, and the space pirates who are now mining the dangerous Phazon. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and its sequel. Tears of the Kingdom are two of the greatest games ever made, completely changing how open-world games work. In Breath of the Wild, Link wakes up after 100 years to find Hyrule in ruins, and Princess Zelda holding back Calamity Ganon at Hyrule Castle. What makes these games special is their complete freedom. After a short tutorial area, you can go anywhere and tackle any challenge in any order, even heading straight to the final boss if you want. Both games have a chemistry engine where objects and elements interact in realistic ways. Fire spreads, metal conducts electricity, and ice melts in hot areas. In Breath of the Wild, you use the Sheikah Slate's powers, like magnesis to move metal objects or bombs to blow up walls, to solve puzzles and fight enemies. Tears of the Kingdom adds even more freedom with abilities like Ultra Hand, to build machines and vehicles by sticking objects together. Fuse, to combine weapons with objects for special effects, and Ascend, to move up through ceilings. Both games feature a massive version of Hyrule with different climates, from snowy mountains to scorching deserts. And Tears adds a whole Sky Island realm above, and the depths below. With hundreds of puzzles, secrets, and incredible moments of discovery, these games reward your curiosity like no others. And there you have it, the top 25 perfect games you should definitely play on your Nintendo Switch in 2025. These games show why the Switch is still amazing even after all these years. Which of these games have you played? Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch videos every week. Until next time.